Welcome to the Captain Curt Show. I'm your host, Kurt Marker, where we talk business, real estate, and building wealth that anybody can achieve a financial freedom lifestyle. Welcome back to the show. This week's episode, I'm going to talk about my very first real estate deal and how I fell in love with real estate investing. This was the deal that started it all for me. It was far from perfect, but it opened the door to a whole new world of opportunity and gave me the confidence to keep going. Back in 2015, I was flying for Virgin America Airlines. I was only making about $48,000 a year, not exactly the glamorous airline pilot lifestyle people imagine. Most people think pilots are wealthy, but in those early years, the truth is you're grinding out long hours, unpredictable schedules, and the paycheck doesn't go very far. But with just $17,500 in my savings account, I bought my very first real estate property, a duplex in Vista, California. I negotiated $60,000 off the asking price, borrowed $16,000 more from my in-laws, and I remodeled it on a tight budget and refinanced it to eliminate property mortgage insurance 6 months later. That deal completely changed my financial future. And today, I'm going to walk you through the story step by step, the wins, the mistakes, and the 6 lessons I learned that helped me go from that one duplex to building a multi-million-dollar project with Captain Capital. It was one of the coolest airlines in the sky. Great culture, fun vibe, and it felt like I was a part of something real. But I was only making $48,000 a year when I started. And when you're based in places like San Diego or the Bay Area, that money doesn't stretch very far. Most of my friends were spending their paychecks on lifestyle, new cars, vacations, going out, things like that. I wanted something different. I didn't want to just rent forever. I wanted to invest. Even though I didn't feel I was ready, I had taken real estate courses years earlier. I never got licensed because I was never in town, but it gave me enough confidence to feel like I could handle the process myself without hiring a buyer's agent. So there I was, sitting on Zillow, scrolling through houses that were within my budget. A house popped up that looked familiar. I thought, wait a second, I've been over to this place. I texted a friend. I said, wait, are you selling your house? What do you know? He was. He was going through a divorce, which could be a good time to buy. But the cool thing was the house was a duplex. The main house was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a garage, and it had an attached 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 600 square feet. His asking price was $450,000, but the number was too big for me. My banker only approved me for $390,000 asking price. So here's the crazy part. Through the relationship, I was able to negotiate the price all the way down to $390,000. Just like that, I saved $60,000 before I even closed on the property. But that was the moment I realized everything in real estate is negotiable. Relationships can open doors that you would never have expected. Now, not all the time you're going to buy your house from your friend. But here's the important thing. Like I said, the bank only approved me for a $390,000 maximum purchase price. So if I wanted this deal, I had to figure out a way to get the price down and have him accept it. One of the strategies I've used was I went directly to his agent, the selling agent. We negotiated, hey, will you represent both sides for a half of the commission? Meaning you represent me because I knew the seller. We had already directly negotiated the deal and agreed on a price that worked for both of us. But that's why he was willing to come down. So the listing agent agreed to represent me, which is really make an offer and I'll sign on it. So I don't strongly advise that, but if you are confident enough to represent yourself, go for it and you can use it as a tactic. That knocked 3% off the deal. That brought it down so the seller was comfortable with that. So that's where it started. We started with that discount. And to make sure I wasn't missing anything when I bought this house, I brought an appraiser friend to walk the property with me who is an expert in appraisals. I explained my plan. I told him, look, I don't have a big budget. Here's what I'm thinking. I remodel both the bathrooms. I put in new baseboard. I paint the interior. I change out the old electrical outlets. I put in new fans. And would that help me bring the price up? So he ran a bunch of comps in the area and he said, hey, if you can get this house for $430,000, there's a lot of equity that could be improved. So that was all the confidence I needed. I knew I had a great deal. I had a realistic plan for improvements with a limited budget. Now, you might be wondering, how did you afford this on a $48,000 a year salary? It wasn't much. The answer was an FHA loan, first-time home buyer's loan. With FHA, you only need to put down 3.5%. It's still out there today. So on this deal, that came out to $17,500 was my down payment, every dollar I had. It literally was every dollar I had in my savings account. It was uncomfortable, it was scary, but I knew I had paychecks coming in. But sometimes that's what it takes to start. I wasn't rich. I wasn't even making six figures. I found a creative way to get in the game, and that was the most important step. After closing, I had another problem. The property needed upgrades to execute my plan. I had no money left. So luckily, I had in-laws that believed in me and loaned us $16,000 for 12 months, not a penny more, at an interest rate, but it got done what I needed to do. We focused on executing the plan. I flew over a friend from Hawaii. We worked on remodeling 2 bathrooms during my vacation time. We handled the baseboard myself. I exchanged fans, and I found a friend that showed me how to change electrical outlets. Well, it was pretty easy, but it was backbreaking work, but I had to do it. So this was a huge step, is that I did a lot of the work myself. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't HGTV, but it was hands-on. Every dollar was stretched as far as I could go, but it worked. The property appraised 5 months after close at a new value of $510,000. So I bought a property, $390,000. I put $16,000 into it. 6 months went by. It appraised for $510,000. This was my first taste of the BRRRR method, which is buy, rehab, refinance, and repeat it. At the time, I didn't even know it was a term, but here I was living it. If you're a busy professional making more than $200,000 per year and you want to put your money to work, come partner with us at Captain Capital. We buy and develop recession-proof industrial warehouse, and we do all the hard work so that you don't have to. Go to CaptainCapital.com, book a call with the team, sponsor limited, and don't miss out on our next opportunity. Looking back, here are the 6 lessons that I learned from this first deal. Lesson 1, relationships matter. Even though I knew the seller, I still saved money, but thankful to my appraiser for helping me out. Lesson 2, creative financing works. FHA loans are still a tool that you can use today to get into a property. Lesson 3, trust your team. I had friends and the appraiser that helped me with the remodel and executing my plan. Lesson 4, sometimes I don't even need a buyer's agent to represent me because I'm okay taking that risk. Lesson 5, value add is everything. The $16,000 I invested unlocked what I have today. Lesson 6, start small, think big. I started with a duplex. That was my launch pad to building Captain Capital in the commercial side. Being a pilot actually prepared me for real estate investing. As a pilot, we live by checklists. In real estate, that's also due diligence checklists. As pilots, we manage risk every single flight. In real estate, that's conservative underwriting and planning for the worst case scenarios. As pilots, we plan our flights before they even take off. In real estate, that's creating a strategy, whether it's refinancing, repositioning, or renting units out. I remember the nerves of my first solo flight as a student pilot. Signing for that property felt the same way. I was not ready. I was terrified at first, but once I committed, I realized I had a plan in place and all I needed to do was execute. That first duplex in 2015 was my launch pad. I was making $48,000 a year, and I proved to myself I could build wealth long-term through real estate. It wasn't just luck, it was relationships, strategy, and execution. And here's the thing, if I can do this, anyone can do it. The biggest takeaway I hope you get from this story is simple. Do your research, network with people, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Most people actually like helping others. But if you show up prepared and you know the right questions to ask, if you do that, doors will open. So here's how the story ends. I held that property for 7 years. In June of 2022, I sold it, walked away with $350,000 in profit. Now, that's not even counting the rent that I collected along the way. I took those profits, rolled them directly into commercial real estate where I'm fully invested today. But that one deal gave me the foundation to grow into bigger projects, bigger opportunities, and ultimately financial freedom. Now, in the next episode, I'm going to share my biggest regret on my second property purchase and the mistake I don't want you to make. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you on the next show.